Hey everybody, welcome to another reaction video. Today I'm going to be doing a reaction to this video. Wrong hand, right? No, cut it off there. What really matters in SaaS. So this is Jason Lemkin, CEO of SaaStr, and then Dave Kellogg, who also is well known in the SaaS world. So let's go ahead and play this video. This is about customer success, and I'm going to have some spicy hot takes here. So let's go ahead and play this here.
So next one. Okay, I know we're context switching a lot, but this is a personal passion topic. I just thought it'd be fun to get your thoughts. I can't think of something that I'm more passionate about because of just the horrendous experiences we have at SaaStr with our own handful of vendors. I've never had worse experiences. The handful of vendors we use, I have not had worse customer success experiences in my career. When I started SaaStr,
that's pretty bad. I mean, worst experiences that I've ever had in his career. I mean, there's a lot of good people looking for jobs. Name names, name companies. Let's see who these people are. I mean, seriously, that's a high bar.
sure, writing this up in 2012, so much of the original content was the power of customer success to drive NRR. I think it's almost dead now that it reports to the CRO.
All right, Dave, before we get you laughing, I mean, it's almost dead because it reports to the CRO, so the Chief Revenue Officer. Yeah, so I think we're going to continue watching, but what you're going to find is there's a correlation between the need for companies to always make more, and we'll see. I think we'll see him talk about this. The need for companies to always make more versus, you know, allowing customers to be excited about the product they use.
Yeah.
What do you think?
So I'm going to take the opposite one on this one. So I will confess to being a true believer for a couple of reasons. One, little known fact, the founder of Host Analytics, Jim Eberlin, was also the founder of Gainsight. So I've known Gainsight since it was born. In any case, I've had a long exposure to the space. I was a true believer. And ironically, I want to twist
Notice he said was past tense.
this one back on you because your book, right, Predictable Revenue, says go specialize roles in sales. And that's all CS is supposed to be. I think CS law.
Did you hear that? He said CS is a specialized sales role. Okay. Okay, Dave, I see what you're putting down. And Jason's over here, and maybe it's just the way I stopped it. He's all looking down. He's like, oh, did I write that? He's just thinking to himself, did I actually put that in my book? Did my ghostwriter include that?
Lost the plot. I think it was a good idea. I think it was specialization, just like SDRs are specialization, just like outbound was specialization. I think customer success / account management, and we can talk about the distinction between the two, is all kind of valid specialization of sales that you argued for. And I don't know if you made this metaphor or not, but I love it, so I have to share it, which is salespeople are like airplanes. They only make money when they're in the air.
I like that analogy. I'm stealing it.
So anything we can do.
That might have been Aaron Ross, but yes, yeah.
I don't know who came up with it, but I love it. And we want to keep our salespeople in the air, and customer success helps you do that. Now, I will say that here's the part I agree with you with Jason on. The customer success manager as best friend, that's dead.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is, because turns out when you're, I don't know. Hey Dave, Jason, are you gonna watch this? Who are your best friends? Are they always asking you for money? Do best friends always ask you for money? I mean, of course it's dead. Like the fact that you can never have the high ground again. It's like every call that we get on, it's always more. It's always, I need to ask you for money. It's upselling you to, something you don't need, not listening to your needs. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's wax on, Dave.
I think they lost the plot and they became your best friend, not somebody saying, I own your NRR. My name is Dave, and my job is to make you go from 100 to 120 at your renewal. And you're not going to do that unless you're happy and achieving business outcomes. So how can I help you do that?
That's 2024 right now. I mean, he's not wrong. Jump on to a new enterprise onboarding. Hey, my name's Brad. Just to let you know on the upfront, my job, if I'm here this time next year, is if you don't move up at least 12% in your NRR, I'm gone. So we're going to need to make sure that we get all of the value plus a little bit more so I can stick around.
But how can you help me do it when I show up to the QBR and some account manager comes that we've never heard of before and asks us to buy more crappy product we don't want? That's the playbook in 2020. Literally, we did a QBR the other day.
I mean, let's finish the point.
I don't do all of them, but sometimes I join to learn. We just ended it after 10 minutes because it was an account manager who didn't know what SaaStr was, what our data was, and just said, everything's great. Can I sell you this other crappy product for you?
If you're a job seeker right now in CS, which there are many, look, the fact that they have account managers doing stuff like this where they don't know the name of the company and they misspell the company, they're putting in no work. It just don't quit applying. I mean, these people will soon be out of jobs. You'll be able to take their role, actually put in some effort, and you'll seem like a hero. I mean, and that's the thing too, is this is not uncommon, this sentiment that Jason's feeling where QBRs are dead, executives are tired to go to QBRs. Like, so is the value you're providing to them is to just have another sales call? Like, it's not helpful.
For your community that you've never seen. Can I demo it to you? No. What is this, the quarterly? Let me know if it's a QSR, a quarterly sales review, and I'll decide.
It is, Jason. It is.
Whether I want to talk with someone I've never heard of before that doesn't know how to spell SaaStr and thinks there's an E or a U in it and hasn't even spent 9 seconds reviewing what we do. This is 100% of our QBRs are this, Dave. Some new AM, now that customer success is reported to the CRO, an AM shows up to sell me something that knows nothing.
Shocking, I know. The people that knew nothing, they're all on the street looking for jobs, okay? Or the people that knew something about your account, they were a cost center, and now they're all on the street looking for jobs, okay? Building relationships, creating champions, driving customer outcomes for the sake of customer loyalty and satisfaction, and not to always have the end-all be-all goal be some sort of big increase or some sort of revenue event. Those days are gone. And yeah, it's now CS has given up the once special spot that it once had.
Yeah.
Nothing,
You'll notice
nothing.
Painfully absent of my definition
Dave, yeah, yep, you're right.
of CSM is do QBRs. And I know a lot of CS
Guys, you're in the space, you're watching this video about CS. Like, he's just saying your job is doing QBRs. Like, what are we talking about here? We've lost the plot.
systems make that like their job description. And I think this is part of customer success losing the plot in my mind, that we got to get back to what our job is, because I'm a believer in customer success.
It's our job.
And our job here is to make accounts worth more money. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I don't do that by showing up with some guy who knows nothing about the account saying, please buy one.
Why do we?
Oh, Dave, is it our job to make our accounts worth more money? Oh, so it's a sales role. And it was like, it was almost never about actually, I don't know, the customer results, because we wanted our customers to be successful. God.
We care, Dave. Let me just ask you, and then I'll give you an anecdote after that.
Yeah, give us.
Why do we care if customer success gets more money for the account? If the customer is insanely happy,
It's because, Jason, why do people in other companies own 3 boats and 7 houses? I mean, there's no point in asking the why question, right? It's because the answer is always more. It's funny because I was like, let me show you. So everybody who has no one to report to right now, like myself, okay? I'm a founder. I don't report to anybody, right? I don't have a CEO or a CRO who wants to tell me here is your customer base, and we need to get 20 or 30% more out of this customer base in order to to grow. So this is going to be your main KPI for this year. We need to draw more blood from this stone right now, and that's the goal. Well, if you're coming in with that thinking, then yeah, it's always like, why? It's just, can't customers just be happy and be able to get the outcomes they have without having to constantly feel the pressure of being upsold and being sold stuff? I mean, call me old fashioned too. But.
Actually think, and I literally just had this discussion with the CEO of Samsara yesterday. It was a great one. Epic. Samsara went from like 1 to 7 to 70.
Yeah.
Okay. And how do you do that? You need your customers so happy that they want to buy more products. And I talked to them, how did you go multi-product at Samsara? How did you go? Did you do it because growth plateaued and telematics? No, actually our initial product one is.
Who was it? It was like some NFL coach. I think it was Pittsburgh Steelers head coach. Oh shoot, what's his name? I'm a Bengals fan, so it's hard to remember these things. I've washed them from my brain, but he's a great coach. He was talking about a certain player. He said, we're looking for volunteers, not hostages, right? So I think Jason's talking about, like, there's a difference between using a position of power and using like agency or people choosing because they want to continue the relationship, right? You know, I think there's a clear difference there.
Growing as fast as the overall company. It's not plateauing. It's that our customers begged us to build this functionality to track drivers and trucks when we were already tracking fleet. They begged us, so we built it. That's how you drive NRR up, when they love your product so much that they say, Dave, please build more for this. Not when an AE shows up and tries to trick you into buying something you don't want.
I think Jason's like working through all the phases of grief right now, because I mean, the man's been hurt. The AEs and the account managers are getting to Jason. So if you're on his account, just chill out.
I feel like we've lost the picture that if you are beloved, even little Saster, if you're beloved, I want to buy more from you. What else do you like? My favorite app right now is Opus Clip. I even invested. What else you guys got? Like they just, I'll buy everything they got because it's beloved.
Buy everything they got. So this beloved, yeah, that might be a sentiment that's shared among CEOs or CROs. Yeah, we want our customers to like us. We want, it's like, what is that? Nacho Libre quote. I want to have a sexy body, but I love tacos too. Well, which one do you like more, the sexy body or the tacos? Because you got to kind of choose. And that's the thing. This whole thing is about, hey, if we're moving from helping customers to be successful and drive business outcomes without the expectation that we're going to sell them, that is one standard. And then the other standard is we're going to make more money from them every year. And if we don't, then we have to make money, their margin, off of some other customer, right? So anytime that anything moves from, I don't know, just imagine, there's a lot of analogies you can draw. I mean, but that's why they call the word trade-offs, because in a trade-off, guess what? You have to trade something off. You don't get it all. You don't get all of it. So the trade-off between being an extension of the sales arm, where you're constantly being asked to sell things, and then being customer first, there's a trade-off. But a lot of times companies will hide behind the rhetoric where it's just like, we can do both at the same time. Yeah, sometimes, but not always. A lot of companies and a lot of customers, like Jason, he said, in the past 2 years, I've never had worse CS experiences. And that is not a good state. That's not a good pub for us.
I think the question to me is two things triggered by that. One is it's a matter of degree, like how many CSMs per ARR. I have three things for it. One, it's a matter of degree. Should we have 0 CSMs, or should we just change the ratio of ARR they're managing?
So Dave, just how many CSM, how much ARR do you have each CSM managing? I mean, I've talked to so many people, and the amount of work that CSMs are doing and the amount of AR they're managing is ridiculous. It's like, we're going to pay you a $90,000 a year to work, 80 hours a week and be an extension of the sales arm. Like, they're so overstretched. They're managing too many clients, and they're going to, I think, probably talk more about that.
The other is the distinction between CSM and AM, account manager. In that model, like, I'm not a big fan personally of the 3-tier model where you have an AM, an AE, and I'm pick 2. And the thing I like, all the way, I guess, one last thing, it depends on how big the customer.
Look at Jason. He does not seem. Are you not amused? Look at him. He's like, come on, agree with me here.
Are, right? When I worked at Salesforce, the first sales call I went on was to Qualcomm. That AE, that was his one account. That was it. That was his whole territory.
Yeah.
And when we're doing enterprise sales and there's $1 million account and we have one AE on it, then we don't need a CSM.
Okay, Dave, bro, when I don't know if you, I mean, people have, rumor has it, let's just leave it at that. Rumor has it that people that have worked on enterprise accounts, they have worked with, quote, AEs who I would say have a much different psychological profile. And again, what does success look like to an AE is different than a CSM. But I don't know if it's just me, but even if you're on a 7-figure deal, there's a lot of 7-figure deals that go very, very poorly in the first year because AEs they're not success people who think in terms of roadmaps and jobs theory and what are the jobs trying to be solved and onboarding and implementation. If everything is always a sales motion, then AEs are going to be a hammer and they see the world as a nail.
Right. First, the relationship is managed by the AE. But now flip it around, say it's a $20K a year package that we're grinding out or a $5K a year package. The more you're in that kind of grinder mode, the more I want sales selling, airplanes in the air, and I want somebody else to be behind going, hey, how's it going? You're successful. You're going to renew. Well, because I think it's a different skill set. To me, it's for the same reason you don't want salespeople doing cold calling, right? That's why you want SDR.
Yeah, I mean, so he just said it right there. It's a different skill set. It's a different psychological profile. Like AEs having but I don't. Why do you say? I don't know. Maybe I have to go back and watch it. But why would he say he doesn't want a CSM on a 7-figure deal? I mean, but my most recent experience in seeing a 7-figure deal and then not having a CSM on it was pretty catastrophic. Oh, I know why. It's because more. Yeah, it's always right.
Ours. So I think the tension here is, and your point's a good one, by the way. If there's nothing for them to sell, it doesn't matter, right? If your product strategy isn't part of the program, and all I can do is move you from silver to bronze or sell you 10 more seats, then there's not that much value.
Yep. Look, the last one on this, I'll just tell you and get your thoughts. I'll tell you something that not only have our experiences internally been terrible with customer success the last 18 to 24 months as it's moved into sales.
So just to point out that the word terrible is a pretty strong word, but this is the kicker. Who is in your tech stack, Jason? They've been terrible, but I don't know if you're going to mention that you left and you went to a competitor. No, it's terrible and you stayed. Did you stay? I don't know. We'll see if he says.
Sales. I'll tell you, there's probably 3 companies I invested in at the seed stage, 3 that are north of 200 million that have seen growth slow. Okay. That have seen growth slow. And I've gotten the same thing in the investor update. We moved customer success to sales. We should have done it years ago. Okay. Now, I think most investors would say, great, what a brilliant idea to move to but I actually see this as toxic, Dave.
Yeah, Dave, it's toxic. What could go wrong if at every point we're trying to sell our customers and then we're reducing headcount, right? And we're growing our gross margin and all of the financials look better. We just have less people doing more and they're able to do it and then sell more. And this is the thing too, is when you meet especially founders or other people who are like technical and they think that their product is amazing and they're almost they almost think like, oh, this thing will renew itself, and it turns out it doesn't. And they're like, what's going on? Maybe we have to have a CS team. I mean, it's just the circle of life. We should get a Simba meme up in here.
I see that when growth slows,
Yeah,
you screw the base. And I see it everywhere. I see it to us. I see it in the portfolio. Jesus, because at scale, my metric is if at scale, if you can't grow your new logos 20% a year, you're in decay. Okay, 20% a year plus 120% NRR. I know it doesn't totally sum, but that's your 40% growth at scale.
Yep.
And so as that new logo growth dips, and many folks in B2B2B are not growing their new logos 20% a year.
no.
What do you do as the CRO when your arse is on the line? You screw the base.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Jason, these 400, 500, 700K jobs, they're not going to go quietly into the night. Okay. To think that your CRO cares about your customers is, yeah, we'll keep it rated G, but it's, if I have to, yeah, we'll just leave it at that.
And I've seen this so many times. One of the things with the new sales leaders, they go in and they're like, oh, they look it up. Oh, Post Analytics got a sweetheart deal. They're screwing us. I'm going to go make them pay 10X because in 2016 they signed up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it helps you make the week or the quarter, but it doesn't help the company, does it? And so what I'm seeing is.
Now, but it doesn't help the company. Well, everything is, yeah, I mean, again, hitting that word trade-offs. Jason he is insinuating here that there is a trade-off. There's a trade-off to making decisions. And I don't know if I've ever been in a meeting where a senior leader says, we're going to make this short-term decision, which is going to hurt the company in the long term, but we need to make this quarterly number. So we're going to hurt our customer base and we're going to squeeze them. And it's going to be a bad long-term decision, but it's the right decision in the short term. People are usually not that direct.
I'm not seeing the folks that are growing like a weed moving CS to CRO. I'm seeing it a stress reaction that I personally think dramatically sacrifices the future of the company in the hopes of making the quarter.
Yep.
Correct. And you'll see that, by the way, so I'm also a SaaS metrics guy. One of my favorite metrics is expansion ARR.
Can we get you to be a SaaS person or a CS person guy, Dave, as well?
Basically expansion, including upsell and cross-sell. Expansion ARR is a percent of new ARR. And I actually like that to be 30%, which is some would argue that's low. But you saw it during the downturn hitting 50, 60%. And how do you get those numbers? You have a decaying, you stop being able to sell to new people and you go squeeze the heck out of your existing people. And that's not going to get a great reaction to your point. By the way, for whatever it's worth, I don't actually think customer success should report to sales. I think that's a stress reaction to save money. I think that.
Oh, look, Jason shook his head. Yeah, time to save money. Sorry to break it, people that are currently working. The idea is they're going to keep trying to, quote, do less with more until either the system breaks, their business breaks, or you break. So it's a race to the bottom, I think.
The company hits a downturn. There's too much sales expense, which customer success is usually classified as sales expense. The CRO goes, I'll take it over. I'll slash it. It's over-rotated the other way. Personally, I like it as an independent function.
I think the phrase over-rotated the other way is an awesome euphemism that I need to incorporate into my lexicon.
To get that healthy tension, because look, what I saw in the companies that I ran is shock sales can oversell. And I like having CS as a kind of check and balance on that. I love designing orgs for healthy tension, and that's a tension I like.
All right. So maybe notwithstanding that you like this AM function more than I do, you are agreeing with me that reporting to the CRO can be a bad move.
That I agree with.
It's the trend neither of us support, right?
Yeah. Funny.
I say, at least as founders, I would resist this unless I would, especially as if it's a reaction to slowing growth, right? You got to,
especially if you're in a grinder model, right? If you're grinding lots of small deals, to me, it's a function of I agree with your point. If it's a reaction to slowing growth, yes, but also what's your business model? If you're doing $1 million deals, you probably don't need one. If you're grinding
again, Dave, maybe this is, I don't know. Maybe he just has different experience. What you see is all there is, system 2 here. But I mean, you mentioned earlier, Dave, that AEs and CSMs are different skill sets. So what you're also saying is that you don't need the CS skill set in $1 million deal. I mean, DM me if I'm wrong.
5K deals, and you want salespeople banging all day long, and somebody else has to take care of the customer.
Yep. Okay, third one.
All right. That hits up their CS section. So I've heard enough for today. But yeah, so again, I don't think the word trade-offs comes up in that entire conversation between Dave and Jason, but I think that's the appropriate word. Is just we're still in this realm where there's trade-offs that happen when you move from a chief customer officer over to CRO, and what the ultimate trade-off is when you start turning CS into a purely commercial and sales function. You're going to get the reaction that's going to play out, and then eventually I guess you're hoping for the macro to change and for growth to pick back up before you start caring again. So I don't know. It's not good. It's never good when, as a CS professional, you see someone who has a following in a podcast like Jason does, talking about how the customer success experiences are terrible and they've been terrible, and it's just not good. It's not good pub. We need to, we still need to, no matter, even if we're facing high commercial responsibilities and expectations, we still need to try to make our customers successful. So, all right, we'll wrap this one as a reaction video, and we'll see you on the next one. See ya.